With the Season 3 Reloaded update, Treyarch has added a brand new event to the game with some of the worst cosmetics.
Hello, I'm Seth, and I'm a gunner now, apparently.
Yet one of the most intriguing weapon mods I've ever seen. The 7.62 Mini Rocket Conversion Kit. This one attachment turns the Goblin from a semi-automatic rifle into a fully automatic rocket launcher, capable of dishing out high explosive rounds at over 400 rounds per minute that absolutely shred through large groups of enemies. Today I'm going to put this weapon to the test by taking it all the way to round 50 on Shattered Veil, show you the best perks, augments, and ammo mods to pair with this beast, as well as give you my weapon build specifically fine-tuned for zombies towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for all that. This weapon was an absolute blast to use, and I hope you all enjoy the video or find it helpful. And if you do, just remember that any engagement with the video itself helps a small channel like me out a ton, so it is all greatly appreciated. Anyways though, enough chat, let's hop in game and show you what this thing can do. Alright, we are now in-game with the Goblin MK2 with the brand new rocket conversion kit on it. So if you remember, this used to just be a semi-automatic marksman rifle kind of style gun, but now it's fully automatic, so you don't need to, spam the trigger anymore. It shoots a little bit slower, but it has explosive damage. You can see the little missiles flying through the air. But yeah, as you can see, it has splash damage, so you can hit multiple targets at the same time. This gun is an interesting gun because with my playtime with it, which hasn't been much, a lot of guns in this game start off really good, and then as you progress into the high rounds, the guns start to really drop off and suck. Whereas this gun, I've actually found the inverse is true. It starts off bad, but it actually gets better the later you are in the game. It honestly feels like a fully automatic GS45. I'm curious to see if this one will hold its weight against a monster like the GS45. So now that this weapon is shooting rockets, it does have self-damage. So as you can see, my health is going down there. So you do need to be careful not to kill yourself with it like a ray gun. I do have a couple of augments set up that I think work best with this weapon. And as I acquire them, I'll explain them as usual. First perk I'm going to go ahead and buy is actually Stamina Up, because on Stamina Up, I have the augment Hot Foot, which will come in very useful later on into the game once I get my other perks set up. But basically all it does is give you a massive speed boost when you get a kill with any equipment, whether it's a Casimir or a grenade or a Tomahawk. You can run extremely fast after getting equipment kills. I've gotten a few comments in my other videos like, oh, this is like a Borderlands build. This is like a Borderlands gun. And if you guys think that shit's like Borderlands, this gun right here, I mean, this is literally a Torg weapon. If you've played Borderlands, you know what I'm talking about. So the next perk we're gonna go ahead and get is Double Tap, obviously. So for my first augment on Double Tap, I'm using Double Jeopardy, which will cause low health zombies to die immediately when they take any amount of damage. And the reason I'm using that is because unfortunately Double Impact does not work on this weapon, and neither does Double Standard because it's an explosive weapon. But I feel like Double Impact should still work. But unfortunately, I did the testing, it does not work at all. So if you put that on and use this weapon, it is a waste of an augment slot. So you're just gonna have to go with Double Jeopardy, unfortunately, because at least you do get some benefit out of that one. And then for my second augment, I have Double Time, which will greatly increase the fire rate of this weapon and obviously its DPS. I would have liked to went with Double or Nothing because again, that increases the bullet damage overall, but again, unfortunately, for some reason on this weapon, Double or Nothing does not work at all. I did the testing, it doesn't work. So unless they change it in the future, which if they do, I will leave a pinned comment telling you they did. But for now, we're going with Double Time just for that flat DPS increase. Unfortunately, the magazine is tiny right now, but it will double the 40 when we Pack-a-Punch it, as Pack-a-Punch usually does. But again, that's not exactly a massive magazine. Unfortunately, you are not allowed to use extended mags on this conversion kit, but I do have a few augments for my perks set up that will hopefully help out with the ammo economy and give it a few more rounds in the magazine later on. So I just went ahead and put Napalm Burst on my gun as well, which is my ammo mod of choice here for this weapon, because it excels at wave clear and horde clear, especially when, like I said, they're tightly grouped together, which Napalm is also very good at dispelling enemies that are tightly grouped together like that. So I feel like they work best with this weapon. For my augments on Napalm, I have Firebomb for the first augment, which will basically just cause the burned enemy to explode and spread even more fire to nearby enemies, further increasing that horde clear speed. And then for the secondary augment, I have Contact Burn. That way it's not like a slow damage over time, it's more like just an instant explosion that kills everything. Let's go ahead and see if I can activate it here, that'd be nice. There we go, there's that ignition, and now there's enemies on fire. Further explosions, and there we go. See, a million zombies just died there. As you can see on my screen and my score feed there, that was all Napalm Burst doing, so that's why we're using Napalm Burst. There we go. See, like that. That is very fun to watch, not gonna lie. Unfortunately, I've run out of ammo now. Let's go ahead and solve that problem with Pack-a-Punch. All right, and boom, we now have pack 1. So as you can see, our magazine has increased from 20 to 40, which is not massive in zombies. But if you think about this weapon as like a GS45 adjacent weapon, 40 is actually a pretty good amount of ammo, considering it does do splash damage, so one bullet can hit a lot of zombies at once. Okay, yeah, see that? That is much better. Like I said, this weapon starts off bad, but now you can start to see the true potential kind of rearing its head a little bit. The next perk I'm gonna go ahead and grab is Death Perception, which is in this room, not that one. And the reason we want Death Perception is because even though the perk itself is kind of useless, the Augment Critical Eye is very helpful for this weapon, as it has a small chance to turn any body shot into a critical shot, which will be very helpful for a different augment that I'll be showing you in a little bit. But that is what will allow us to get our ammo back and also just deal more damage, because like I said, the critical multiplier is pretty high on this weapon. There was Napalm Burst activating, and yeah, they're all dead. The next perk I'm going to go ahead and get right here is Elemental Pop. For my first augment, I'm using Citrus Focus because I just want Napalm Burst to activate, as that one's going to be most effective, like I said. And then for my secondary augment, I'm using Chill Berry just because, again, I want Napalm Burst to activate as much as possible. That's a lot of zombies in there. Hold on, this is going to be beautiful. So this weapon really does feel like a fully automatic GS45, but I will say one thing that this weapon has over the GS45 100% is the ammo economy. So again, the magazine, not massive, right? But the total ammo is a lot better than the GS45. My entire screen just covered in napalm and fire and black smoke. You're also definitely going to want to grab Speed Cola for this weapon because, again, the magazine size leaves a little bit to be desired, not going to lie. For my first augment, I'm using Classic Formula because the reload is lightning fast when you use Classic Formula. I mean, just look at this. The small magazine size isn't exactly that big of an issue when you reload in under a single second. For my secondary augment, I'm using Fast Pitcher, which might seem a little unrelated to everything, but I promise you later in the game when we get the rest of our perks, it will come in very handy. Oh, I just got Deadshot. Let's fucking go. That's beautiful. All right, so with Deadshot, for my first augment, I'm using Dead Again because, again, as you saw, the vast majority of our shots are those white numbers, those body shots, so it's not going to help us much if we use something like Dead First or Dead Head. But with Dead Again, mixed with Critical Eye, like I mentioned earlier, we can actually get some ammo returned to our magazine and extend that 40 round for a little bit more. That will help with our total ammo economy and our magazine ammo economy. And for my secondary augment, I'm using Dead Draw, as again, this is an explosive weapon. I'm not really precisely aiming for the head and clicking like that. You're just spamming all over your screen. So I like the better hipfire accuracy. Holy shit. Okay, so as you saw, Dead Again actually did activate a couple times there. Every time you hear that little ding, ding, ding in the background when I'm shooting, that means I'm getting ammo returned to my magazine. Also, as you can see on my score feed there, every time you see that little plus 15 marked for death, that is actually the double jeopardy augment activating. So that's why I'm using that one, because it does actually help. It's very hard to notice the effect because obviously when there's just smoke, fire, and dead bodies flying across your screen, but it is actually insta-killing zombies that are low on health, so it is working. But as you can see there, the true potential of this weapon is beginning to become fully realized, and we're not even done. I still have more perks, augments, more Pack-a-Punch upgrades. We're only pack 1 right now. Stand still, Sam Terrell. I could probably do that. Throw a little decoy there. I'll stand still for a minute, and then when it goes away, I'm about to kill every motherfucker. Oh, I only had to get 35. Oh, okay, it's over already. Okay, yeah, this thing is actually starting to cook now. I mean, I wasn't impressed with it in the early rounds, but holy shit, it's shredding now. Holy shit. So let's go ahead and get the last of our upgrades. Now we can go ahead and get our tier 5 damage bonus. There we go. We now have legendary tier. Let's go ahead and grab pack 3. Okay, so the weapon itself is now maxed out, but we still have a couple more perks to grab. Let's go ahead and grab Vulture Aid. So now that we finally have Vulture Aid, we can finally start using our equipment. That way we can take advantage of things like Fast Pitcher on Speed Cola and Hot Foot on Stamina. So the augment I'm using on Vulture Aid is Picky Eater. That way, whenever I kill zombies, they have a very high chance of dropping the equipment I'm currently using, like like you just saw right there, actually. And I decided to go with the impact grenade because since I'm using this for movement capabilities, I like to be able to just get that instant kill just really quickly. Boop, just like that. And now I can run extremely fast. Oh, there's a disciple right there. Oh, you know, he actually kind of got deleted, not gonna lie. That was pretty quick. Again, the DPS itself really isn't that bad. I feel like it's on par with other not explosive assault rifles. Maybe not as good as something like an AS Val, but the AS Val doesn't shoot fucking rockets. So now that we have Vulture, don't be afraid to use your equipment, you know. I mean, you can spam it as much as you want. Get that speed boost whenever you need it, you know, because you will get your equipment back. Oh my god, what happened to the side of this truck? That's a shit ton of blood. All right, we are now at round 30. It's obviously still cooking. Dude, the map is just randomly covered in giant spots of blood from this thing. That's so funny. Oh my god. Oh, I just got Nebula camo done. That's cool. This is probably the most Wonder Weapon feeling non-Wonder Weapon in the game. Like, this thing really does feel like a Wonder Weapon. As you can see with Vulture, we are getting our equipment back like crazy. That's one magazine on round 35, by the way. Like, that's pretty fucking good, man. That's pretty good. It's like a perfect mix between a precise high crit damage AR and just a spam explosions all over your screen GS45 type weapon. Yeah, this is probably one of the most fun weapons I've actually used in Black Ops 6 Zombies. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. You hear all the fucking collection noises. I just picked up like 15 items. Yo, the impact grenades are cooking, to be honest. Again, just a quick reminder, equipment does infinite damage, so no matter what round you're on, they will be that good. And that speed boost is beautiful when you're in these endgame rounds because these zombies run fast, man. But with that speed boost, you literally walk faster than they can run. So you're kind of untouchable. We're now at round 41. Let's go ahead and see how it holds up on round 41. We'll get a nice group together and show you what the wave clear is like. That's pretty good. That was about half of the entire horde in one magazine. Maybe a little more than half, to be honest. Oh my god. Round 45. By the way, when you're playing high rounds on Shattered Veil, this is just a general tip, has nothing to do with this gun. When you see parasites, fucking kill them as soon as possible, because they instantly turn into doppelgas when you're on high rounds. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think like the evolution rate is increased when you get to a higher round on this map, because they turn into doppelgas almost instantly. Dude, look at that shit. Yo, impact grenades actually cook, man. Look at this place, man. Just covered in blood. It's like a fucking... It's like that scene from The Shining, bro. Round 50. Holy shit. We made it to 50. Alright. I'll kill a couple zombies on this round, and I think I'm going to hit the exfil because I feel like this is the round that it's going to be not good anymore. I mean, again, obviously I have an infinite magazine, but it is still flaring zombies. There we go, round 51 with the new Goblin MK2 mini rocket conversion kit. Honestly, the wave clear is really good. It feels like a GS45, but just like the GS45, the single target damage is not that good. So if you're gonna take it to high rounds, you need a weapon to back you up, like a ray gun MK2, some type of wonder weapon, or even just a high DPS weapon like the CR56 10 round or the AMR, just something that can quickly put down the elites and the specials, because this weapon really struggles with that. But otherwise, for typical normal enemy zombie clear, it's genuinely really good. So this right here is the build I was using. Unfortunately, a lot of attachments I would have liked to use are blocked by the conversion kit. So the muzzle, the barrel, the magazine, you can't put anything on those attachment slots. But I'll go ahead and show you what I was using for the rest of them. For the optic, you can use whatever optic you want. I like the Otero red dot. I think it's really clean and it's on a riser, so it gets the iron sights out of your way. I think it's one of the best red dot sights in the game, to be honest. But again, you could use like a Merlin Mini or any of these clear picture sights. They're all good. For the underbarrel, I'm using the Ranger foregrip just for a little bit of recoil control, but mainly the sprinting movement speed because this weapon has no problem with recoil control. I mean, you could even use a launcher if you wanted to, if you like using the launchers, or the crossbow if you're doing the free fire trick. I mean, these are all good options. For the rear grip, I'm using the commando grip just for a nice balanced mobility buff to our ADS speed, our sprint to fire speed. For the stock, I'm using the light stock just so I can get the fastest walking speed. That way, you know, when I'm trying to avoid hordes and I got hot foot activated, I can move super fast while shooting at the same time. For the laser, I'm using the steady aim laser for the maximum hip fire spread. This weapon already by default has a pretty good hip fire spread, and then when you combine it with things like dead draw on Deadshot, it's super accurate from the hip, as you saw. And then for the fire mods, of course, we're using the Goblin MK2 762 mini rocket conversion. That's what gives it the explosive ammo and also makes it full auto. But yeah, this thing is a ton of fun. I highly recommend you at least try it because it genuinely is very fun to watch those explosions happen just all over your screen.